So you've always been taught that you could learn French on your own, but you don't know how to do it and you don't know where to start or what to do. So you're in the right place because in this video I'm going to show you 9 tricks and 9 useful tips on how to learn French on your own. Okay, so let's dive into it. Tip number 1, speak French to yourself. How do you do that? By repetition. Repetition is key when it's time to learn a language. And because it's a very specific skill that requires your brain to practice more and more and more every day on a very regular basis. So it is possible to learn a language in 6 months. You might have thought that it was a scam when you heard that, hear that online. You see a video like how to learn French in 3 months, which I think is pretty short, but still it's doable. And how? By learning with repetition. So how do you do that? Thank God we are in 2020. We have a lot of resources to learn French online. We have radios and podcasts and TV shows and movies available for free on YouTube and some many platforms. So I would take, for example, the podcast that I have, that I created for you guys. It's called La French Touch. It's available on iTunes and Spotify and Google Podcast and many platforms. So you have access to this radio show somehow, and it's 100% free. So you just have to download the episode and then go along with me. Listen, repeat, and you can do this on your own because, like, I would recommend if you are out in the public bus or metro and transportation with people around, not to do it out loud, but to do it in your head, or maybe to whisper under your mask. This is what I do actually when I have to repeat some stuff. When I take daily walks, I like to speak to myself because I like to speak my goals out and everything. When I review my day or what happened and what I need to do the next day, I like to speak out loud. I can't do that because I would look suspicious. And so what I do, I speak under my mask or I just whisper. It is the least worst option. Tip number 2 is to have a routine. And it all comes down to discipline and how bad do you want to learn this language, to learn this new skill. It's more than learning French. It is very specific. It's more about learning a new skill with a language, all right? So finding the right method. So you can't expect to learn it in 3 days or in a week, but you can make big progresses in such a short amount of time, right? So by repetition, as we saw in step 1, now step 2, what you have to do is be very disciplined, like set a routine. When you wake up in the morning and you have your coffee or your hot beverage, some people are more tea, I'm a coffee guy, right? So big deal, that's what I do. So I would sip on my coffee and I would actually listen to something in French. It could be on iTunes, you have access to the French radio stations, or maybe listen to a podcast. Maybe you watch a French version of a TV show. There's a new one that I posted about on my Instagram account. It's called La Garçonne, but I think it's just on Apple TV. I'm not sure about this. Maybe there's a double check on this that needs to be done. And if you have the link, if you have any information about this, if it's available on Netflix, for example, you can maybe put the link to help other people find out about it. And this is very important. Like, as I always say, don't make time for French, make your time French. I repeat, do not make time for French, make your time French. Say that 10 times fast. Step number 3 is to set very specific goals. Like, what are your goals? Do you want to speak better, write better, understand better? So based on a goal, on a specific goal, then you will know what to do to get there. You will know what resources to look for. You will know what to practice on a daily basis. Like, let's say you want to write better. For example, you every day you need to pick up a book or maybe a blog post in French and rewrite it, right? Maybe what I would suggest, it's very simple, might take a little longer, is like record yourself reading that blog post part. Could be 10-15 lines long. That doesn't have to be the whole novel or something, but it's just a few paragraphs. Read it out loud and record yourself, right? Now put the blog post aside, hide it, and then play what you just recorded, right? What it's going to do, first of all, you would have read it once, so some of the words will still be fresh in your mind, right? And then as you listen to it, it will help you understand better, and then train yourself to write it down. Every word, the punctuation, the accents, the traps. Sometimes, you know, the double letters, double the silent letters, which is a huge. I'm sorry, guys. We're French. We have a lot of silent letters. In English, there are a lot too. So, you know, that's why I always get this argument with English-speaking people, because they think like French is the only language with silenced letters. Like, you know, for example, what I just said, you know, like the word no. Why is there a silent K to begin a word like that? See, I don't want to go back to the roots of the English language and same for French. So we have Latin and Greek roots actually for our language, the way we form the words. So it only makes sense. And so, you know, now this is tip number 3, like really set a specific goal so you know what resources to turn to. Step number 4, which is actually the following of number 3 and the example that we chose, which is to write better. For example, you would pick maybe a few paragraphs from I don't know, something from a newspaper or maybe a blog post in French. There are millions of French blogs around there. So you can email me or DM me, put it in the comment. If you need maybe a list or a few blog posts you can go to that is not too complicated if you're just beginning, so it can help you write better, right? So as I just said, as you keep on doing that, so you record yourself reading the article, and then you train yourself to write it. And maybe today you wrote it with a lot of mistakes in it, right? Now, what will make you successful is to assess those progress. Don't hide them. Own your mistakes and your errors as you write. All the mistakes you made. Don't try to hide it. There are no grades. There are no degree at the end. There's no certificate. It's just a dictation. So, big deal. Because the more you assess them with details and corrections, now the next time, what's going to happen? The next time what's going to happen is that you're going to make at least 80 to 90% less errors. Maybe you're going to repeat a few that take more time for your brain to retain them, and require more practice. But what's going to happen is that you're going to make way less mistakes on the same blog post or text or a few paragraphs from any resource. And what it's going to do, this is going to be very valuable because it's going to trigger that dopamine rush that you gain when you make progress. When you make progress, it's like You feel good about yourself. You gain confidence. When you gain confidence, you don't drag yourself to the next dictation, because what's going to happen, you know, it's a language. So there's a lot of patterns that are going to repeat. So you're going to learn them day, after weeks, after month. So 30 days from now, by doing daily dictations like that, and I'm not saying it could be 1 hour a day. One dictation could take 15 to 20 minutes top. It doesn't have to be, but the progress you're going to get on a daily basis by repeated, and identifying the patterns and the tips and tricks and the traps included in the French language, then you will realize how good you're becoming by not falling into these traps, by choosing the right word, the right spelling, writing the right accents, the endings of the words. You'll be able to identify words that involve silent letters. So this is, you get an adrenaline rush. It's a dopamine rush, because, and then you get as you go, after a few weeks, you're going to develop another hormone. It's called serotonin. And serotonin is known to make you retain the patterns of any skill you're trying to learn on your own. And this is great. So, but it requires daily discipline, daily practice, and that's how you get it. Now, tip number 5 is to invest in quality learning. As I said a little earlier in this video, we live in an era where information is everywhere. Okay, we have information everywhere. Video, audio, text. It can be overwhelming, and it really is. For example, when you land on a YouTube channel teaching French, you see a lot of videos, a lot of cool titles, cool thumbnails and all, but you don't know where to start, because you don't have a clear path that is going to take you from point A, from start to finish. Okay, so you need a clear path. That's why it's important to invest in courses. It could be, on average, it's $100, but it's $100 that are going to make you make like huge progress. Like, you're going to leap from one level. Let's say you're a total beginner. You've never practiced French ever in your entire life. You don't know anything about French. A course can take you from a total beginner, absolute beginner, to a more advanced beginner. And just that leap, investing $100 in this, for example, this is the average price, and this is like the type of course that I'm offering as well. And so this is valuable, okay, because it gives you the clarity that any student needs. With clarity comes power, because you gain progress, and then you feel unstoppable, and you feel good about yourself, so you don't drag yourself. You gain more discipline, more confidence, and you feel excited actually by learning. Learning should be fun. Learning should be fun. And I try to make it as fun as I can. It's not always easy, because sometimes it's complicated, topics. So it's not always easy to make something complicated fun. And that's my goal as a teacher, to break it down into digestible chunks, digestible small nuggets that you can learn on a daily basis, and make practice and keep on learning, So invest in courses. Books are good as well. There are tons of books, and the thing is with books, it can take very, very long. Let's say you have to master French, right, with textbooks only. This could take forever. This could take a very, very long time. So see for yourself what works best for you. I wouldn't recommend to invest in audiobooks, because you don't retain information as you should, as much as you should. So think about it. This is my take on it. Like, do what's best for you, the way you retain information best, right? And I would recommend courses because it's taught by teachers, okay, instructors, teachers like myself, and I we know what to address, what problems to solve because we were students once. I've been there. I'm a French native person. I've spoken French my entire life until I got to learn English when I was 12. So I know what are the obstacles that can come in your way when you're trying to learn and practice and scale your learning. Because at some point at school you just stick to the basics, so you get stuck real fast. So how do you get to the next level? That's my whole thing. Um, so yeah, for tip number 5, invest in quality sources only. Okay, next is to, so that would be step number 6, is to immerse yourself in French culture, right? Because when you learn more about French culture, it will really show you what is French language made of, like what's the origin of words and expressions and traditions. For example, Christmas, New Year's Eve, Easter, some stuff that we do not very much celebrate, like Halloween. Halloween is huge here, everybody dressed like crazy. But in France, it's not a big deal at all, like at all. But at the same time, we have a lot of celebrations, commemorations of from World War II, from World War One. Independence Day is not the same. Labor Day is not the same. We have, for example, the month of May is really known to have a lot of holidays, a lot of days off. So it's pretty much, and it's, you know, the like, we're still in spring, so the weather is nice, so you get all these holidays, and so people are really enjoy the month of May. You know, especially when we get those days off, like on a Friday or on a Monday, it gives you that long weekends that we all look forward to. Even though I didn't get much of that because I used to work a lot during those weekends as a student. So yeah, like immerse yourself with the songs and maybe some, when you watch a movie. Next time you watch a movie, do this for like 15 minutes. Put the French subtitles, or maybe put the main language of the movie in French and keep the English subtitles so you can link. See for yourself. For me, when I was learning English, I was very comfortable doing both. Actually, I would, but my favorite would be to put the main language in English. No, sorry, in French, and then put the subtitles in English, because I wouldn't have to focus on the audio because I know what French sounds like, that's my language, but then I would get the instant translation right underneath, and this helped me a lot. I made huge progress in the late 90s and early 2000s by watching Friends. So first of all, I love the show. The show is really cool and all, but that gave me an extra motivation to binge watch that thing, because I think I watched the whole 10 seasons in like maybe a month, not even a month, because I was watching, laughing, and learning. And a few months later, when I went back to school after summer holidays, after the big summer breaks, where I got to learn and to like make huge progress, I went back to school. And the first time I opened my mouth during the English class, I don't remember what the question was, but it's like I surprised myself sounding like that, and everybody was looking around like, what happened to you? I mean, I was already good, but I took it to another level because I got so immersed in that language, and it was more like an American, like USA accents and intonations. So I got so used to it. And when I would walk around or take walks or maybe go to the gym, sometimes I would just repeat and on those sentences and those jokes and sort of sarcasms, and I would put myself in the shoes where I would have to use those sentences and sarcasms and jokes and comebacks in a real life situation, like I was talking to someone. And it worked. When I went back to school, my friends were shocked, like, did you go to England during vacation or something? Did you have family there? Why were you born there? That's a question I got a lot, actually. So my point is, like, find a content that really fits you, and for example, by watching a long French TV show, okay, and a modern one, it will really put you in the shoes of a French person. Now train yourself to repeat that daily. It could be, try to find a funny one, okay, because later when you will have to use those words and jokes and expressions and sarcasms and comebacks in real life situation, it will be so helpful, you have no idea. It will be so helpful to break the ice or to engage a conversation, not just wait for someone to ask you something and just reply, be like a not just react, but to actually lead a conversation. You would be the one asking the questions. You might make some mistakes, and it's normal, but people will correct you, you know. French people do that a lot, actually, but in a nice way. Like they will actually see that you're making efforts, but they would help you speak better. Now, tip number 7, we're almost there, almost done with the list. I hope you're getting value from this video. If you do, like the video, subscribe and share the content and engage in the comment right below. This would make my day, this would help other students as well, so feel free to engage with the content. Like the YouTube channel is not too old, it's like 6 months old, but like it's just asking for growth. So I'm going to bring you value on a weekly basis, and I'm trying to post 2 to 3 times a week now. I know I took a long break because I was really busy, but yeah, I do a lot of freelance work, and I've been really busy lately, so feel free to engage. Tip number 7 is to combine an activity with your language learning. For example, the best example that I love to talk about is learn how to cook, how to combine cooking and French learning. You know, French people are really known for their food and cooking and all those skills. They have specific, really elaborated vocabulary about food, and they use utensils and all the materials and terms, and like the process is just so, it could be really complicated though. So by combining cooking and French learning, it could be like when you are, you know, telling to yourself, like, okay, I have this vegetable, I have to chop or slice and then put it in the recipient, big recipient, add water. Try to repeat those steps in French. This really helps because you're practicing and you're retaining the information at the same time. And from a physiologistic point of view, your mouth and your lips and your teeth and your jaw will get used to pronouncing those words, because most of people get lazy when it's time to pronounce the letter R, for example, the right way. And this is not a good thing, because you don't want to do that. You want to pronounce it the best way possible, right? And by repeating, by training yourself, it's not just, you're not just training your brain, right? It's not just an intellectual effort, it's a physiologic effort. So your whole body will start to endorse, will try to embody the language. It's not just about learning a list of a few words of vocabulary and expressions. This will take you nowhere. Like, run away from those contents. Okay, I know a lot of people do that, and I do this myself too on my Instagram channel. I put daily like expressions and words and stuff, but never have I ever told you guys, students, that this will make you become fluent in French. No, it's just a daily thing to get you hooked on the language and to keep you going, to keep you practicing. So that is it for step number 7, like combine any activity with French language. Step number 8 is to join online communities. My favorite is Reddit. I love it. For those of you who do not know about Reddit, it's a community that has gotten so big over the past 3 to 4 years. It's really engaging. People are really here to help you, ask questions, find solutions for you. Like, you can promote yourself, you can do a lot of things, and it's really, really engaging. You can ask any question. A few hours later, if not a few minutes later, you will get an answer to your question. It's really, really, really cool. You can find, as in Facebook groups, for example, you can find a lot of students learning French language. Maybe they're at the exact same level as you. They might be living in a total different location, but still have the same purpose, the same envy, the same will. They're so eager to learn, but they may be like you. They may be lost because they have no one to turn to. So, and the communities online is great. You know, I see a lot of people talking trash about the millennials and like how isolated they are, but these people don't know how connected millennials are, right? Like young generations, they were born in technology. They were born in technology. I'm 37, I was not. So I know what it's like to look for information in a dictionary or in encyclopedia in 12 volumes that weighs tons and tons of kilos. It's so heavy on the library shelf at my parents' place. I know that. I've known both. So that's why I'm even more grateful to have something like, for example, Wikipedia. It is absolutely mind-blowing because it's daily updated. So it's great. So find online communities, because this could really bring instant, at least quick reply to all your questions about learning French. Okay, tip number 9, that's the last one. Tip number 9 is to trust your guts, trust your instincts, right? Because as you apply all these tips that I just gave you for 30 minutes now, you will make progress, you will gain more confidence, you will develop dopamine. It will make you less likely to drag yourself to the next lesson, or to discover new resources, or maybe to ask questions on communities. Now, my point is, trust yourself and don't forget to review and to get feedback on what you have done in the past few days or few weeks, and really assess all the progress that you've made. Always assess yourself. If you are really 100% on your own, you don't want to spend a lot of money, you will have to provide the efforts, right? So make sure you get the right resources, that you practice daily, that you incorporate it in your daily routine or any activities that you might get. And then this is one of the best way for you to assess where you are and where you need to go next, right? This is actually huge, because when you do that, it will bring you real value and even more confidence, because you know that you have to go to the next level. For example, let's go back to the example I gave you in tip number 3, which was if you want to write better, to pick a blog post, right? But what's the next level with that once you've mastered this after a few weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, I would say. Once you're getting good, better, day after weeks, you want to pick text on a higher level. So you will have to attack French literature, for example, okay? tech modern authors are much easier to read, okay, less complicated words, less super technical jargon or something. But if you really want to take it to the next level, which is, I think, the ultimate level you should aim for, is like those huge authors that you may have heard of, like Émile Zola, Victor Hugo, Guy de Maupassant, Alexandre Dumas. These authors will take you to another level, because the level of the technicality of their writing is such on a high level that you will have no choice but to step it up and to keep on learning new structures, new phrase structure, and new words and expressions, and new ways to express yourself in a much formal way. So yeah, here we are, guys, like 9 tips to help you learn French on your own, wherever you are. And these are tips to help you find the good resources for you to learn and to keep on improving and to keep mastering. We are almost at the end of August right now. By the time I'm recording this video, we're almost in September. So point is, keep learning. Never stop learning. Never, never, never. In any endeavor, it will require discipline and daily practice on anything you do. That's what I do. I was never used to record that many YouTube videos, for example, and for that long. I had to learn. I had to learn how to create the thumbnails, how to upload the video, how to engage, how to promote, it's a skill, right? Any skill you can learn, master, and scale. So I hope you got great value in this video and in this podcast episode, actually, because the audio will be in the podcast tonight. So thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any question, any comment, feel free to add them in the comment section. And in the meantime, keep learning. And I'll see you in the next one.